are doing well out there. We had a bit of a pullback on the old PulseChain overnight, but Hex on Ethereum's doing pretty well. So we're going to talk about that today. That's pretty neat. And yeah, we got a lot of stuff. What are we talking about? I think we're talking about a few things. Gladiator Games had the first tournament and huge success. Just had X Space. I was just attending that with the founder of Gladiator Games. And of course, along with a few other big heavyweights on there. It was pretty cool. Crypto Paradise, Nick Hitman in there. Pretty mate, Nick Hillman, I should say, in there. And we had MVS Crypto from the Monster Thread in there. And Tyndall was in there. I mean, there's a lot of players in there. So, yeah, it was really, really cool. Great first start and some pretty big prizes there. We're going to talk about that later on. Rome token looking good at the moment, looking good. So, and it's only within the first 2 weeks. Is that crazy? I think it's pretty crazy. So, yeah, let's check it out. Gladiator Games is, I don't know, it's opening up the whole gaming space on PulseChain. It's just suddenly one game, just suddenly, gaming everywhere. It's kind of pretty awesome. So keep a look at that. It's super early, guys. Wink, wink. Super early. So, do with that information as you will. But pretty exciting. The other thing we're going to get into, of course, is Pulse Beat Miner just launched today. Pulse Beat Miner launched today. Can you believe it? Pulse Beats Miner. From Crypto Cult DeFi. Cult DeFi. I'm adding up an extra name for him, but Cult DeFi launched his Pulse Beats Miner. We're going to talk about that later on. And hey, look, you can use my referral and get 2% bonus on your staking. So gamified Pulse there on Pulse Beats Miners. We're going to look at that a bit later. So yeah, we've got some cool topics. I think we've got one other topic, but we'll try and remember what that is when we get to it. Pretty exciting. So first of all, don't forget to share the show around on X. Really helps a lot. So smash that show around. Just hit the repost. Just take a moment right now to do that. That always helps a lot. If you're on YouTube, of course, don't forget to smash the subscribe button. And we're streaming on 3 channels, Superman Crypto, PulseChain X, which has been growing really nicely. And, of course, the Crypto Night Show, the main show here as well. So 3 channels, but 3 awesome communities on YouTube. And we're also streaming on X as well. So big welcome to everybody on X. And don't forget to smash the follow button on X as well. We're rebuilding the channel. As you guys remember, my old channel got taken down, but we're rebuilding because that's what we do, right? We always get back up on the horse, no matter what it is. Just in life, we do it in crypto as well and on social media. We've got MVS Crypto in house there. Big shout out, Morning Superman. Of course, we're going to talk about MVS a bit later, not for the same reasons we normally do. Normally, we talk about the Monster Thread and, of course, promotions for the Crypto Night Show, helping teams get themselves out there. But we've got some MVS has been doing some other stuff, so we're going to talk about that too. Hex Creator in house there. Hey, gang, good to see Hex Creator. Big shout out. Welcome. And Wookie as well. Wookie is big time. Yeah. Wookie is probably more important than the Warriors right now. That's all I can say. All right, so get into it. All right, so let's jump over to the stock market and kick it off, guys. Let's see what happened in the stock market overnight for Monday. And we can see at the moment the Dow Jones was up 0.1%, 50 points to 45,884. And the Dow Jones, for those that are not familiar, is about the top 30 big industrial firms. And that's what makes up the Dow Jones. S&P 500 is up 0.5%, 31 points to 6,615. And the NASDAQ, with all the tech companies that you hear about, all the Magnificent Seven, the Teslas and others of the world, NVIDIA, is up 1%, 207 points to 22,348. Some really nice moves on the stock market today. And, of course, when we look at the chart and we look at the all-time, we are making records, right? So let's see where the Dow Jones is at the moment. It's pretty much pushing it, isn't it, up the top there? Look at that. Awesome. And the S&P 500 also is pushing higher as well. Look at that, man. We're on record highs, guys. And the NASDAQ, yeah, also. Everything is record highs, and you guys are here experiencing it at the right place at the right time. So pretty awesome. All right, let's have a look at the US dollar. Is it just below 97? So that's really been depreciating. And if we look at the last year, we can see that that's really gone down a lot. So when Trump came in, it was around 108. So it was up here, and it's depreciated since Trump's gone in here, all the way down just below 97 right now. So really pushing that on the US dollar. But the good news is that while the dollar's depreciating, that increases exports, increases the price of imports, generally speaking. But actually, we've got West Texas prices. The oil prices have been going down dramatically, and we're at $63 on West Texas, $67.50 on Brent oil. And I understand, as we mentioned probably a week ago, Trump was talking about oil going at the pump going below $2 a barrel eventually. That's kind of in the sight. So let us know if you're in the United States what the local price of a gallon of petrol is. I guess the conversion of oil there. at a distillery. So let us know. Distillery. We got the gold prices right now, record highs. Look at this. Woo! We're at $3,717. Crazy, but yeah, it's on the maze. And we're bullish on silver and gold, as you guys know. Been talking about that for about a good 18 months. Been bullish on that. Silver there is $43 and still not at the all-time high, but is definitely on the move. $48 is $48.36 or something like that. I think it's the all-time high. We're at $43, which is amazing. Amazing. Remember, we were talking about this when it was down like $16. Remember that? And kept having resistance at $28. Remember that? And now it's at $43. There we go. So it's on a real runaway. And of course, our target is somewhere between $75 and $125 per silver. Yeah, that's right. And of course, with the technological boom, it's going to require a lot more silver and obviously gold as well. Pretty crazy. All right, let's get into a bit of commentary. We're not going to go too much into it. We just want to get into the interest rates. And the interest rates are this week, guys. It's this week. So let's just go straight to the tool. And we're going to wrap up our coverage here on the stock market and economic news. 1 day and 17 hours to go, guys. 1 day and 17 hours to go. Woo-hoo! Bring it on. That's awesome. So, yeah. Woo, 1 day, 17 hours. Is it about to moon? Are we about to have just an unbelievable rally into the end of the year with the interest rate cuts? That's the question you're all asking. We're going to find out. It's more probable than not. In fact, it's very probable. And we've got 1 day and 17 hours to go until we find out what will the Fed do. Are they going to continue to be political or are they going to actually do their job? And of course, the interest rate at the moment is 4.5%. The inflation's around about 2.8, 2.9. It is way too high. It is way too high. It's ridiculous. And of course, we know the Fed moved very late, and then they moved very rapidly to raise interest rates, the fastest in history. And when they did decide to move them down a bit, they were doing it when inflation was at a point where they were benefiting the incoming Democrats trying to do their campaign. So we'll see what they do. But really, the rule of thumb is typically like a 1-to-1 from the Fed interest rate to inflation. So will we see, at least 150 basis points by the end of the year? Let's see what happens. Certainly into the new year would be pretty good. But we're moving very late here. So 97.5% expect a 25 basis point cut, which is a quarter of a percentage point. And that would get us down to 4.25% on the federal funds rate there. So that's where we are at the moment. I'm hoping we get a 50 basis point cut. But at the moment, the market's only pricing in 25 basis points. October, though, the next meeting after this one coming up in less than 2 days' time, we've got 76% of the market expecting another 25 basis points. That's 50 basis points by the time we get to October, half a percentage point. And then by the time we get to December, we have another 64% of the market expecting another 25 basis points cut, which is 75 basis points by the end of the year, basically 3/4 of a percentage point. That would get us down from 4.5% down to 3.75% by the end of the year. But that's too low. It's too slow. It should be probably twice that, guys. Should be probably twice that. And so we will see what happens. Are we going to get more than 75 basis points by the end of the year? All right. So that is where we are right now. So are we about to take off, guys? 1 day and 17 hours to go. Certainly that we might have a little delayed impact potentially. At the end, afterwards, even the stock market might dip a little bit. We'll see, maybe have a 1 day rally and then dip. We might get a bit of that sort of action. But then leading into the quarter, this is super bullish for crypto. Crypto really still waiting for that banana part of the curve and just entering it really. So let's bring it on. We're currently, for Bitcoin purposes, we're actually kind of in the right zone at the moment in the ranges for the 4-year cycle. Although we do think the 4-year cycle is probably going to be teared apart this cycle. So imagine we're in a 4-year cycle. We think it's going to probably get teared apart. And the reason for that is because of sovereign states and institutions now flooding into Bitcoin and Ethereum. And of course, they are buying and holding. They're not quite so frivolous as the retail book that will go through a 4-year cycle. And so we may see that at least the 4-year cycle, if not ripped apart, dampened down dramatically and extended. So we shall see. We shall see what happens there. That is what a lot of people are thinking will happen. And certainly when people are buying Ethereum and staking it, it's not really coming to market anymore, is it? So it makes it very, very scarce. That's some of the key things. And we've got a lot of fundamentals built on top of that theme, of course, coming up as well. So that is some of the neat things. We've got a few people in the chat here. We've got Crypto League in the house. Good to see you in the house today. We've got Hexagram says regular gasoline in Texas is $2.77 to $2.87 a gallon. So that's in Texas. And of course, it's an oil state. And so, yeah, that's still, Trump's suggesting we're going to keep coming down to maybe $2 here. So we'll keep a lookout for that. Now, I know the US is going to be having an energy boom that takes a little while to make happen. We also definitely saw in the Gulf of America, them already pulling off, launching a couple of at least one or two production facilities down there, but they are looking to ramp up tons of them all over America, into Alaska, probably into Greenland eventually, all that sort of stuff. So we'll see the greater, what are they going to be called? The greater United States. So it could be called. Matt and Bali and House there. Howdy, everybody. Good to see you, Matt. And I like your little picture there of Liberty. You got your Liberty swap there, looking good. And we got Wookie says, Wookie's eating a steak the size of Texas, man. You're always eating good food, man. He knows how to eat. He's a bit of a chef, by the way, Wookie is. And so no surprise there. No surprise. All right. So if you guys haven't joined our Discord, we've got a strategy club. Links in the video description. Only $35 a month to join up to that. And if you haven't already, as a community member, $12.50 to join up to that, to Discord and get in there. We've got some of the best people around in PulseChain and crypto. So join up today. You get all the insights and everything else that you don't get on YouTube. Definitely do that. I am actually very late for the monthly report, so we're already halfway in. So I probably do have to do that today, so I don't get myself in trouble. But get in there. You'll probably see the monthly report come out, even though it's 2 weeks late, which means that I'm going to be doing another monthly report in about 2 weeks. So there we go. That's the way it goes. But what I was going to say is we have strategy discussions in there, intel and all sorts of stuff, and we're going to be passing a lot more through there too. Right, where should we go from here? We're going to go into the crypto market. Let's do that, eh? Let's go to crypto and see where the overall crypto market is at right now. Right, so the total crypto market, 4.1 trillion, down 0.6%, 18,766 coins on CoinGecko. Bitcoin right now is $115,480, up 0.1%, but Ethereum has come back a little bit, down 1.8% to $4,525. XRP at number 3 is down 1% at $3. And of course, BNB at number 5 is down 0.8% at $919. Solana there at number 6 is down 2.6% at $234. Doge at number 8 is down 4.1% at just below 27 cents. And then finally, Tron is down 1.1% at just below 35 cents right now. Those are your top 10. Best performer over the last 24 hours is Bitcoin, up 0.1%. In fact, the only one that's green today. Now, in terms of the best performer over the last week, we still have the old Doge up 10.5%, followed pretty closely behind by Solana up 9%. So they have been a decent gain. I mean, it's a lot better than you're going to do in the bank, right? A lot better than you're going to do in the bank there, all in 1 week. So top performer in the last week is a Pump.Fun taking number 1. It was climbing. It's like number 4, number 3, number 2, number 1, number 1 today. And it's up almost 80%, and it is sitting at number 5. Pump.Fun is very controversial, but there's a lot of other controversial cryptos around, and the reason why they're controversial is because of the team, profiting so much from the protocol. A lot of suckers out there in crypto. It's just the way it goes, unfortunately. Why is there so many suckers? People always trying to make a buck, right? But the founding team there makes a lot. Anyway, up 80%, 6.5% on the last 24 hours. Sitting at number 5 there. Provenance Hash has also moved up to number 2, 40% increase this week, sitting at just below 3.8 cents. Mantle, number 40, is number 3rd best performer, up 35%. Meancore, or M, is a new entrant in this list, and it is up 19%, $2.49. Finally, Avalanche there, up 17% for the week. So we have some decent little gainers in the top 100 at the moment. Top gainers in the top 1,000. We've got OpenXAI, we've got Pup Token, and we got Advantis there. Now, I think we've looked at a couple of these. We're going to have a quick look at OpenXAI, just have a quick browse there. Number 386 is the rank of OpenXAI, and it's only been around since the 13th of September. So it's only been around for about 3 days, and it's got a very good looking chart, actually, to be honest. $164 million right now. It is on, I guess, base chain, is it? Let's have a quick OpenXAI. And of course, AI has been a big theme here. We have looked at this a couple of days, actually. Now I'm thinking about the last couple of days. But the open and borderless AI network. So looking pretty good. Let's launch the actual launch button. build and deploy AI agents in 5 minutes. In fact, I did save this yesterday. If you guys remember, I got to have a look at this. I want to have a look at this and see how useful it would be for myself, for example. But that is out there if you want to do some stuff. So this might actually, if it does got a really nice, simple, cool solution, clever solution, then yeah, a lot of people might use that. So that is pretty much that on OpenXAI. That is our top performer there in the top 1,000. We've got Eternity Chain and Pup Token sitting there as well. I'm not going to look at those two, but that is where we are. Trending is Undead's Games. There's trending right now. Pump Fund and Advantis are trending overall. So that's pretty much our market cap, just below 4.1 trillion, and Bitcoin holding at 115,244, getting ready, many people think, for the big move towards maybe that $200,000 mark by the end of the year, as Tom Lee has suggested. So we shall see. Ethereum there at 4,520. Obviously, we're looking at big numbers to somewhere at the bottom range, 8,000, but probably more likely 15, 16K by the end of the year if Tom Lee's top call is going to happen. And of course, he's making it happen with buying all the Ethereum up. So there we go. We could get a 3x from here with the old Ethereum there. So by the end of the year, pretty crazy. What does that mean for the MNAV and of course the strategic reserve companies? I don't know, but let's actually pull up let's just pull up the companies. But before we do that, let's welcome a few more people, and we're going to go to the strategy reserve and pull that up. Don't know if there's any particular updates on here. Oh, there is updates on the strategy ETH acquisition company. So we're going to look at that too. DJN Hicks in the house there. Lots of love, Suitman. I appreciate that, DJN. Lots of love to you guys as well. We've got the Kryptonite Show there. Don't forget to repost on X. Just take a moment to do that if you're on X. Repost it out. It really helps a lot there. All right, let's get into our final topic for the crypto market overall. And we've got the strategic ETH reserve here. We do have a new declaration. We did know that Bitmine Immersion had been buying because people track the wallets, right? When they're buying Ethereum, but they don't publish their updates until pretty much a week later. But here we got Bitmine Immersion on the 15th of September. They have published the latest number here. Now it's still the 15th in the United States, but it's always a day ahead here in New Zealand. We're on the 16th already. And we've got 82,000 more ETH has been purchased by Bitmine Immersion. Fantastic. Look at that. Awesome stuff. So there's the latest there. That puts them at now at 2.15 million Ethereum, which is amazing. Almost up at $10 billion at the current price of ETH, 9.73 billion. They got an MNAV. This may not be updated, but the MNAV of 1.14. And that's basically considered the premium that you get. And it really includes, the big part of it is because you can stake Ethereum, you get a big multiplier on the Ethereum that you earn per year. So typically you might see that between 20, 25 X on the income that they earn, and just like you do with stock market companies with their income, they sort of give a multiple. Typically a conservative multiple will be like 10 to 12. Then you might move up to like 15, 16 on the multiplier, and then maybe really when it's starting to hum, 20 to 25, and then of course you can obviously go higher than that, but that's kind of generally the numbers that people like to price in as a premium. So instead of holding Ethereum, you could just buy BMNR or SBET, for example, and play that game, right? Probably BMNR is probably well superior. The reason why is because Bitmine Immersion, along with Fundstrat, all that are in the top 20 turned over liquidity and trading in the world. So out of all the stock markets as well. So that gives them a massive superiority. So if you take the sort of the income premium multiplier and you add it with the liquidity and the turnover, then you're getting a very high MNAV, and that's what people are banking for Bitmine Immersion. And of course, Tom Lee talking about this being a 10-year play. So obviously, you're not holding the Ethereum, unlike if you just bought it naturally, but you do get the big multiplier upside. So this is what's really attractive to a lot of people. The one thing I would say about that is that Bitmine Immersion has got the exchanges buying it, so they have to have a pretty obviously contractual, trustworthy, purchasing. That would be no doubt the US exchanges that are doing that, and they're buying that Ethereum up there, and of course locking it away and custodial. So that's kind of the I guess your custodial view of the world rather than your non-custodial. So there is pros and cons to that, but potentially the upside could be massive, right? They're obviously looking, how far along are they? They're 36% towards their target of 5%. So they're currently at 2.15 million ETH. Obviously, Sharplink and ETH Machine are still there. We are expecting some major purchases from a lot of these entities, particularly down here with FG Nexus at number 14. Remember, they have raising $5 billion. They've only bought 48,000 ETH so far. So you're thinking about that 15K Ethereum by the end of the year. These are the entities going to help make it happen, right? Because they're going to buy it massively. They're trying to get it as low as possible. So far, Tom Lee has been an absolute genius with this. It's just great. I heard him say it. I seen him say, "Oh, we're gonna, preferably we want to get this Ethereum raw cheap." Well, he's been doing a master job at that, and they got multiple ways of picking up Ethereum either through exchanges or OTCs. But man, it is crazy how clever he has done that. It really is a smart guy, he knows what to do. So that is the play. Now, sometimes when I say smart guy, it can be subtle, right? It can be subtle. The difference between somebody and somebody else, it's a subtle difference, but man, it can have outlandish differences in effect, and really is the Tom Lee like that. All right, so kind of cool. And of course, PulseChain SAC still sitting there proudly at number 5, and currently worth $750 million US. And remember, all these other companies that are bringing all these tens of billions of dollars into the crypto market, it's going to be probably hundreds of billions, and of course is huge, and potentially trillions in due course, is just pumping PulseChain sacrifice, right? So we're talking about mooning. That's just, they're pumping our bags, guys. Is pretty awesome. And why do we say that? Well, Richard Hart's the one that put PulseChain SAC on this list, right? He didn't have to, and he's the one to put it on there, and of course excited about where that will go. How he will use that, it's another question. There's many theories about that, but so far it is looking incredible. Imagine just staking it, just like the rest of these ETH acquisition vehicles, and you're just earning such huge money at way higher prices. You could just pump PulseChain forever with that, right? You could pump, even with all the sacrifice sets. Obviously the big criticism of PulseChain is the sacrifice itself, and the holders, and always, Richard Hart said, "You are the sell pressure," all those sort of narratives. Then this is a constant buy mode, right? Constant buy mode, and of course sets us up pretty well for, as Tom Lee would say, the next 5 to 10 years. So pretty bullish there. Pretty fun. What else? Let's see here. So we got Blair in the house there. Hey, good to see you, Blair. Big shout out. So that's the end of our crypto coverage. Let's jump into PulseChain itself, and we're going to go to the result for PulseChain. Unfortunately, we're down a little bit. We're having a bit of selling today, of course. Had some, particularly on the PulseChain there. Pulse is sitting, this day 857. We're about to wrap up, and we're sitting at quadruple 425. And we're down 5%, and are currently at the 42% of the mean sacrifice price. So yeah, hit quite hard, but there is always going to be a last day. There's always going to be that last day before we really start to build some value on the chain there. That's excluding things like the sacrifice wallet and all that sort of stuff, which is the golden age, as it were, or the magic carpet ride of PulseChain. We got Pulse there right now. Now we got PulseX at the moment, quadruple 281, down 3.5%. And the current buy and burn on PulseX is 7.75% right now, and Signum token $1.48, down 3%. And we got Hex on PulseChain at just below 1 penny, so 99 hundredth of a penny, let's say, down 5.6%. So it's the biggest drop out of the Richard Hart core coins. But the shining light is EHEX, which is at quarter of a penny right now, and we're going to talk about that next. So just hold your horses. We're going to deep dive into the EHEX there. And we got the current beats right now, 868,000 beats, 1 cent for a PulseX swap. We got the validators right now, 52,573, pretty similar to what we've had the last couple of days. And then we've got the bridge. Actually, before we get out of the validators, I will say that Vouch token is now I think it said it yesterday, but it's number 1 validator now. So well over 4,000 validators, I think. So pretty awesome. That is from Vouch there. Dominating. I don't know if we can see it on here, can we? No, it just shows validator store registration there on this one. That moves us to the bridge, and of course the bridge is going up in value. Why? Because EHEXs, right? EHEXs, we're at 114.8 million. What we had yesterday, about 119. So we had, obviously the market's come down a little bit there, but EHEX is really driving that value. 24.2 million now with EHEX at quarter of a penny. EHEX was much higher yesterday. I think it was what to get up to. We're going to look in the chart anyway, but we'll get to that. So that's where the bridge is right now. The treasury, of course, for the PulseChain SAC, sitting at $750 million. It is up at almost 20%, 123.3 million US dollars right now in the money. That's green, baby. Not bad. So cool, some cool charts there. So that's pretty much it. But let's zoom in, shall we? Shall we zoom in to the old Hex? We might go back to, I guess, the bigger view, but we're going to go to Hex right now. And let's go full screen, see how that looks. Does it look good? Yeah, it looks good. So that is EHEX, and we can see that we actually really pumped yesterday on the old EHEX, which is why the bridge was up so much. We're up at like $190 million, and it's because of EHEX, right? So EHEX went to what's this on the daily there? 2 days ago, it was up at almost 0.3 of a penny. So really, really nice pump. We can see the pump doing really, really good stuff. I see Crypto League's got a comment in there. We'll have a look in a minute. But up a 2x inside a week on the old EHEX, which is funny because we were talking about it before that, and talking about it being at the bottom of the range. At some stage it would reverse. And of course, we've also got commentary around BankX as well, which has kind of been a short-term catalyst for this. But yeah, up 102%, still up at the moment, 62% in 9 days. So not bad for the old EHEX there on the chart. Now that is what it looks like there with auto log. I'm just taking that away a little bit. It looks a bit stretched, doesn't it, when I do that? I guess we can zoom in there. But that is the chart there. Pretty volatile, right? Pretty volatile on the old EHEX there. Up and down, up and down. Pretty crazy. What do we got here? Crypto League says the price you gave, quadruple 042 multiplied by 10,000 equals 0.00042 cents. 1 pulse equals 42 cents. That is from Crypto League there in the chat there. Nice one. I think you're talking about pulse there, right? All right, so let's jump away to that is the EHEX chart. But we've got a little bit of commentary from Crypto Solve, and it's a couple of days old. So this is on the 11th. Which is back here on the 11th. Yeah, back here on the what day was this? 11th here. This day here on the first big pump, and we had a little commentary here from CryptoSoft. I thought I'd go through this. I haven't read this, so I'm just doing it live. But it was sort of ones that I did want to look at, but I hadn't actually looked at. One of the most ridiculous chapters in Hex history is just about at the close, says CryptoSolve. So we thought we'd spend some time digging into BankX saga to break down what's happened in the last 2 years. So that is from CryptoSolve there. And of course, we've got some history, capitalizing on the extended period of sacrifice mania and the relatively recent launch of PulseChain in June 2023. BankX appeared with an unusual product labeled as a silver-backed stable coin. It attracted a small amount of interest until a wallet known to be associated with the real or the Hex Gold Whale made a single 830 million EHEX sacrifice at the time, approximately $7.5 million, which was kind of crazy at the time because it already had failed on the other chain. I think it was BSC chain that it was on, if I remember rightly. It already failed. So this was what was really perplexing is that the real Godwell hadn't actually done, based on just on a surface review, hadn't done the proper due diligence. And so it was really quite bizarre. It's just really, really weird, actually. Real Godwell makes a lot of good decisions. It's just a bizarre one on this occasion. So I'm not sure what was going on there. At the time, approximately $7.5 million in value at the time. Isn't that amazing? The total sacrifice pulled in 848 million Hex, as well as a small handful of stables in ETH. 830 million Hex was realistically the only sacrifice of any significant value. Godwell, 830 million transaction is right there. So that was from there. The OTC offers and so this is probably missing from the commentary is the fact that already really failed on the other BSC chain. They hardly got any money and the thing just almost basically fell over. And so that was kind of what was bizarre there. So I'm just adding a bit of extra stuff there. The OTC offers in the months after 830 million sack, several community members approached BankX in an attempt to OTC or over the counter the Hex, recognizing that had become a significant source of FUD for the EHEX chart, with the price of EHEX progressively declining around that time. Several attempts were made to do a deal around the 1 to 2 million mark that we're aware of, far more than BankX could have sold the position for, given the liquidity at the time and the public nature of their wallets. One OTC pool reached approximately 1.6 million in committed value, but ultimately all OTC deals were either rejected or ignored. Well, we'll see how that played out for both sides of the equation later on. So it's going to be interesting. The sell pressure. The initial sack was distributed into a spider web of connected wallets, and after a very brief foray into staking, they started slowly selling down their Hex position almost as soon as they received it, a process that began 2 painful years ago of watching them intimately sell the position down, typically 1 million Hex at a time, often with days between transactions. Now, you got to remember, on the backdrop of this, really the protocol failed, and they're basically, instead of using the capital, they're basically selling it down. And so it's a scam, right? Scam. And of course, the person's kept on doing their promotions, all that stuff on X. But they really should have given the money back, knowing that their protocol was really a failure. But they didn't. It's just the way it goes. But hey, look, They got sent the stuff and they're doing what they do with it. And you can decide on the ethics of that. They've dabbed in a variety of methods over these 2 years, including single-sided LPs on both Ethereum and PulseChain, most of which never yielded anything, as nobody wanted to buy into the sell wall, as we all know, right? Before ultimately deciding to market sell the bulk of it on Ethereum. We've collated the data over multiple wallets, and to date, they've sold around 822 million X for almost $3 million worth of stables and ETH, an average price of 0.0036, roughly 1.8x today's price. At this stage, where there's only 28 million EHEX left, we expect this to be sold in the next 1 or 2 weeks at current rates. More on this later. So that was the update there. The product delivery. So after all of this, what did BankX deliver for $3 million worth of sell pressure? Well, it turns out millions of dollars buys you a website that looks like it cost you $50 to make, and a series of XSD stablecoins over multiple chains with a TVL of less than $20. We wish that was a joke, with effectively zero liquidity to even trade them. There's also a BankX protocol token with a whole $1.90 of liquidity. So basically, the guy just took the money and that was it. So that was the problem. We'd already seen on like a PSC, we'd already seen it fail. So this is why I'm saying it was a bit weird in terms of timing, based on my knowledge. And so it was just crazy. The whole thing was crazy. What's left? This post is a little premature, as there's still a bit left, 28 million EHEX to be precise. We expect this to disappear in the next few weeks based on current speed of selling. For quite some time, the value of HEX they've held has barely been enough to make a dent in the price. Price charts, the involvement and price suppression is limited solely to narrative. For context, we saw another wallet sell 659 million HEX, remember that, over the course of 2 days recently, nearly as much as BankX has painfully sold over the 2-year period, and the charts absorbed it well. A minuscule 28 million will do absolutely nothing to suppress the price. Will the BankX exit bring a narrative shift for EHEX, or has the market long since decided that it's basically just a dying ratio meme play? Was the sacrifice a hidden message to kill off EHEX in the first place, or was it just a misguided attempt to support a protocol during peak euphoria? There we go. And I think, from my point of view, it's the later. It's just pretty crazy, really. The OA has staked the majority of EHEX, so it's certainly not dead. Yeah, so that's the other thing, is the OA has staked a lot of the EHEX, and so it's game on pretty much. Valent says bank extortion. Yeah. Well, what would have been an ethical play? Okay, it wasn't they're not the ones who sent the hex to them. But in due course, they knew their protocol was not going to happen. It was a bit of a failure already. They knew that from the BSC side, and so we basically, maybe an ethical play would have been, I'll give you back 95% of your EHEX, and I'll take 5% for your stupidity in that case. So yeah, let's say on that occasion, let's say. So yeah, that could have been an outcome. But anyway, took all 100% and made $3 million from it. There you go. All right, so that is pretty much what happened there, and of course that was on the 11th here, so that's back here, that article, and of course the chart really rallied pretty hard, 0.3 of a penny, currently a quarter of a penny. But as you guys know, we've been fairly bullish on EHEX as well on this channel, and I think that the superiority of PHEX will always be in play for several reasons, around gas prices and the magic upright and things like that. But certainly we should see a pretty good dragging along, as it were, of EHEX to PX. The other big thing, of course, we know that dip catchers, people like that, are contributing to the value of EHEX over on Ethereum with Hexflex. Hexflex, yeah, I think it's called Hexflex. So yeah, it's it's got use cases coming as well. See, I thought I was going to sneeze there for a minute. Yeah, so that sort of stuff. And we saw the OA stake, of course. So there's only a limited amount of EHEX in the market as well, just like there is on PX. So, long live Hex. Hex is dead. Long live Hex on Ethereum. Yeah, there we go. So that's a little bit of a backdrop there. Nice little summary there from Crypto Solved. So I thought I'd read that out. And of course, we'll see where this goes from here. All right. In fact, I probably should have pulled up the EHEX ratio, but maybe we'll look at that tomorrow. Hopefully, I'll bring that up tomorrow. It was unnecessary drama that we needed, and there we go. That takes us to the overall markets on PulseChain. So we're sitting at about 18.9 million, which have been at around 19 million for the last couple of days, maybe 3 days, 4 days. And we've got Yaks at the moment, been around for 10 hours. We always get new coins launch every day, not on financial advice, of course. 1,665% right on the increase. So a big, nice mover there. 122K volume on 35. It looks like a nothing coin. It's got no symbol on there or anything. And then we've got Vouch right now. Vouch has obviously been on a tier and super popular. So we might as well zoom in on this. As I said earlier, this has now become the number one validator on validator on PulseChain with the number of validator machines. So we're gonna have a quick look at. Let's see if we can get some insights here from the actual team itself. And this is from was it Hexer, isn't it? Hexer. I always forget his name. He's a great guy. I don't know why I keep forgetting his name. Tetra. Let me know in the chat again, man. I keep forgetting. It's the worst. It's his name. I think it's his name. It just won't cement in my head. Jexer. That's it. Jexer. Sorry, Jexer. I apologize, man. I am a big fan of Jexer's, but I just keep botching up the name. It's so embarrassing. All right, so we've got Vouch liquid staking here. And we had some big news. That was 18 hours ago. So this is 18 hours ago. And number one validator on PulseChain, 127.6 billion staked, 5.65 million. And of course, the idea of this, if that people stake more and more, then it's Pulse is going to get really scarce, right? And so therefore go up in value. But also you need Pulse for all these other protocols. Obviously there's a lot of Pulse around still because the sacrifice sets everything. But it's pretty crazy. 127 billion staked now. Almost 4,000 voters. I said 4,000 over 4. Well, it's 3,988, but that's probably around 4. And we've got 270 community validators, 33% 7-day APR. So the community validators are, I guess, the ones that are in the protocol itself, because the rest of them had to be part of a whale position, surely. And I'm not fully sure the history behind the number of validators, but 270 community validators seems like maybe associated to the protocol itself. 33% 7-day APR, 11% APR year to date, which is around the 10% mark on a PulseChain validator right now. So that's pretty much it on the Vouch, and that is doing pretty well. So the price there looking fantastic. Now, basically, there's two forms of income, right? There's all that validators. I mean, 4,000 validators, guys. There's a lot of income there. And of course, then you've also got the taxes on the protocol, which is 5%, right? Buy and sell tax, feeding this thing. So when it keeps up good volume, I mean, some of the volumes at like 300K, that's at 5% buy and sell. It's some pretty good value to push this price up. And so far, the price is looking fantastic, right? We've had a few little sellers here. And it'll be interesting to see, obviously, as the higher it gets, who will decide to start selling, right? And get those red wicks coming from some of the early players with little big bags. We'll see how that goes. Obviously, 530K liquidity, but we'll keep tracking that. There will be some, no doubt, red candles at some stages, despite the superpower income that this beast has got. So Vouch Unleashed. The other thing, it also puts some potentially competitive pressure on PTC the Greys, right? PTC, of course, being one of the blue chips, as we always talk about it. Prairie Banana, of course, does a great job of that. That is one of the big DAOs, and but this here has it has a tax as well. It's around 5-6%, isn't it? 5%. But this is also this also has the validator income of 4,000 validators, for goodness sake, AMG. So that could be pretty crazy. So we'll keep a track on that. I haven't really done more of a deep dive than what I've just said. But that is doing pretty well on the old Vouch there, and is dominating for the last several days at least. And obviously, the chart is up and to the right. Staked ETH, one of the fork copies on PulseChain. Remember, PulseChain is a full system stake fork or copy of Ethereum based on the 10th of May 2023. And this is originally back from the old staked ETH protocol there, liquid staking. And that is been over 2 years. That's currently sitting at 0.058 and the market cap of 971,000. That is up 6% today. Blitz, of course, based on PulseX reward for the PulseChain farm, the latest farm to launch on PulseChain, is up 3.4% right now. A UFO related to PDC, the Greys, I think that has a 6% tax, if I remember rightly. That is up 1.8% right now. Let's have a quick look at that. This is a ratio to PULP to PDC. And we did see this was up yesterday. We did talk about it. And this is on the weekly candles. These are weekly candles. And it is back on the move there right now. So UFO doing pretty well. And I'm pleased to say, Crypto Paradise Surf token is green today as well. We don't have many green candles. Look at this. This is we only got like 7 of them today. So it's not a particularly fun day. Obviously, PulseChain's down. But we do have Surf actually green. And of course, they're getting ready for their marketing ramp up, right? They're getting ready. They're not there yet. They haven't done it yet. They're getting ready though. They've made some new liquidity pools. But P2C, the Greys there are pretty crazy. And of course, they are showcased in the monster threads. If you've seen the PulseChain weekly monster thread, they are showcased in there. And these guys are not mucking around. These guys are ready to rock. So that chart's a pretty nice little entry point right now for the old surf token, and Crypto Paradise have got a lot coming. They're one of the biggest KOLs that consistent on the chain, and they're doing daily live shows, X Spaces and all that. These guys are huge KOLs and doing a great job. So big shout out to Nick, Nate, and Amaru. You guys crushing it and keep up good work there. So onwards and upwards for the old Crypto Paradise. Looking forward to seeing what they come up with, the magic. But they are crushing it, man. So with some of the stuff they got going, if you get in the DAO, you get access to some of the big perks, the big premium perks. So definitely check it out. 200,000 to enter the DAO and 400,000 to get some of the investor access to the trading. I think the trading bot thing, which is making mad gains on that. And they raised $750,000 for the third round. So these guys got a lot of good investment and big high return opportunities in it. So pretty cool there. 9/10 of a penny right now. What a pick up there. Market cap 902K as well. It's surf token. We've got Sparta just out of the money right now. But yeah, we're down to 6 greens today. Oh my God, we were 7. It's just gone to 6. We've got Sparta down there. Let's do some honorable mentions. We've got Sparta down there right now. We've got RhinoFi. Who else we got there? PTC the Greys. We've got X Game down here, 1.8%. X Game expected to launch probably by the end of September is my guess. So keep a lookout for X Game. Tip of the day. Is that tip of the day? I think it is. Tip of the day. Let's do magic on that one. Let's do magic. Tip of the day. So that's kind of cool. What else? Let's see here. We've got Hexade is another one of the PulseChain farm incentive tokens down at number 20. Gopher's on the move. Whoa, Gopher's not too bad. We haven't seen Gopher's up this high for a while. This is a, what's it, 707 contract? 701? 707 contract? I'm just going to remember now. 707. Very exotic between a PRC 20 and a PRC 721. Just got to go back down and double check. 721, sorry, 707, 720. Yeah, 721. That's what I was trying to remember. Sorry, it's an ERC 404. Sorry, ERC 404. All right, boy, I really lost my mind there. ERC 404. Sorry, PRC. The PRC 404 because it's on PulseChain and so forth. So presumably that contract type has been verified now or whatever. Confirmed. That's pretty much it. But that is the price, $147 now for Gophers in the moment, and it's a really cool idea. I mean, look, they did a great job of that. But that is where the price is right now. That's from Dipcatcher and Golkey. Dipcatcher Golkey. Dipcatcher and Golkey. Okay, enough of that. All right, so what else we got going? Join the Discord today and get to hear about all the crazy stuff I do. Get in the Discord today. Links in the description. PulseChain farm is sitting down 2.4%. Let's see where this price is at right now. Is it high or low? It's on the 4 hour. Let's go to the daily chart. It's pretty much down there in the bottom. It looks a lot like the surf token, doesn't it? The chart looks very similar to the surf token for PulseChain farm. That's pretty funny. I mean, we do get charts. A lot of the crypto charts do look like this when they bottom out, they round out the bottom. And so we'll see what happens there with the old PulseChain. SolidX, of course, we talked about X Game all the way up here. And we've got SolidX, which is the parent company, as we say, parent company. I'm allowed to say that. But it is getting ready to rumble, and SolidX is about to fly. That's all we can say. Which leads me on. So I was going to move stuff around, but let's talk about this first, shall we? So SolidX, since we got it up here, this is the chart for SolidX, and let's go full mode on this. This is the full chart, and let's go to weekly, because it's a lot of data. So let's go to weekly on this. This is the SolidX. I'm going to log that. Bam. All right, so it's the weekly chart for SolidX. Now, this is from Firewhale, one of our two big whales. We know that they're going to be competing between Rack and Michelle and Firewhale. Their launch times are pretty similar, but I think we had Rack and Michelle probably going to be launching slightly earlier. That's now been flipped based on what I can tell, and I think that Firewhale may very well, if they launch before the end of September, launch before Rack and Michelle, who I actually think they're doing a Q4 launch for Coinwell, but I think it's actually probably going to be at the beginning of October. We'll see. You know, it's always difficult to get the timing right. 100%. We're just basing on the information, but this could very well launch before the end of September, which was the sort of the target date. And $9.16 right now for this. Look at that. And of course, this could pop to $100 pretty quickly. So we'll see what happens here. Yeah, target, remember from Firewell, is $1,000 for SolidX, and we're at $9.16 right now. And he's one of the few people that could help make something like that happen. So pretty awesome. Who else? We got a couple more comments in the chat there. Let's see who else. We've got a couple of comments in the chat, but that's on some other channel. I have no channel what chat that's on. But here, $9.16. So anyway, I put this out yesterday about Solid Trader. If you guys want a trading bot on Telegram, Solid Trader is really taking off, guys. Really, everyone's really enjoying it. So it's a Solid Trader there on Telegram. It is a trading bot. It is superior. It really gives you super fast trades. You can do limit orders. You can do profit and losses for trading. It really is amazing. Yeah, super fast trades. No more stuck transactions. One-click buys. Multiple wallet setup. You can do multiple wallets in Telegram. You can do limit orders and stop losses, right? And you can do take profits as well. So pretty awesome. It has charting and it has protection from scams also. So it's pretty amazing, guys. A full trade sniping interface exclusively for PulseChain. It is pretty awesome. In fact, I might go to this other view just to showcase that a little bit easier there. So yeah, it is huge. A full trade sniper interface exclusive for PulseChain, the fastest and most convenient ways to wait your trade. So it is getting, it is really creeping up on people. More and more people are starting to use it because they're starting to realize, oh man, this thing is really good, especially with the limit orders, take profits and stuff like that. So definitely check it out. It's pretty huge. All you have to do to use it is you just fund a wallet. You can actually set up a wallet inside there, and of course you can paste the contract address of any token you want to buy. There is some pre-established tokens of popular ones, of course. You click buy, it's that simple. That's how easy it is. It's not rocket science, and it's inside Telegram. There's a SolidX protocol, and as such, all fees collected will be used to buy SolidX. So it's also another product in the suite. And of course, we're looking forward to X game launching, and that's going to be super bullish, as well as many other new products coming from SolidX very shortly, potentially within 2 weeks, maybe a week and a half even. Either burning or sending it to stakers. On top of that, there is a 5-layer deep referral program. This is really cool. So if you're looking to try and make crypto funds and you want to share it around to your friends, maybe you got a bit of a network, this could be absolutely amazing for you. For 5-level deep referral program that pays you 35% of all fees collected. So it's pretty amazing for this. And I've put together a thread, how to use it, fast thread with all the videos to show you. It's got little video clips to show you how to use it, which is pretty awesome. And if you want to join up today, I can post that in the chat there. So join up and get out there. But man, this thing is next level. Solid Trader it's called. And you can sign up today and get out there. You can obviously use your own referral code and so forth. So that is the link right in the chat there as well. And I think I might post that also in the video live stream as well. Let me just go and do that while we're here. And we're going to scroll down and post it under there. So that is Solid Trader, and it is start today. I'm going to spell properly though. Start today, and that is the link there. So get hold of that now. That's if you're watching on X, just posted the link right below the video stream there. We've got Hexavator in the house as well down there. That's pretty cool. So that is pretty cool. But what I've done on this thread, which is pinned to the top of the profile on the Kryptonite Show on X, is the little videos. So you can see the first one is Solid Trade Tutorial, how to buy and sell, fast, simple, and safe. So you can see a little video there. And the video is from the official team, so it's pretty cool. You can see the video how to use it. It's kind of got the active interactive stuff. You can actually see active wallets. You can decide how much you want to buy. You can customize that with the X as a sort of a custom amount you can buy. It's got the slippage and stuff like that. Limit orders. You can click on that too. Pretty cool. Second video is master limit orders on Trader. So this gets you into the limit orders, and once you can see, you can do lots of cool things in here with the limit orders, which is pretty cool. What else we got in there? I think they got some other views there. So they've got all the ways to work through there. That shows you up the limit orders once you've set it up. If you've got a certain price that you want to buy at, it will auto buy that for you. Maybe you're sleeping during the night, but you're feeling quite confident. Maybe you're a bit nervous about this thing and you think it might get dumped on overnight. Well, if it hits a certain price, it will sell for you, which is really good, right? A lot of people wish they had that they had limit orders to sell out if they were a bit nervous over the night, keeping a position open, for example. Which is pretty cool. So that's kind of neat. The third one there is a referral system, obviously. Huge referral system, guys. I wouldn't underestimate this. And anybody can set this up. You just set up your own referral, spread it around out there. It is a public good. This trading bot really does help. It's superior to a lot of other stuff out there. Definitely want to use that, and yeah, really winning. The other thing, of course, is got P&L cards. Shows you your profit and loss at any particular time, which is pretty neat. I'm going to show you that. So see that little card? That's your profit and loss card. Pretty neat, actually. Really good idea. You can actually share that around on X and places as well. Obviously, this one's slightly out of the money in the moment, 1.5% on the example. But if you're well in the money there, it's nice and green. You share that around, right? And then there's also a little slippage setting video at the end, which just clarifies a few things about slippage versus the liquidity, right? There's a very different concepts here, so it's really important here if you want to learn. So there's quite 5 quick videos there. So definitely sign up to that. The links in the chat there, and also you can find it. I think it's in the video description too, but you can definitely find it on X now. I posted it there too, so check that out, and also pinned to the top of the chat. But pretty amazing product from SolidX, and win-win across there. So that is SolidX. Let's go back out and check out a few other honorable mentions on the way. So X Games coming. SolidX going to benefit big time. You got the Solid Trader bot, which I just covered. So that's all from Firewhale, one of the big whales, potentially launching within the next week too. So huge opportunity there. We've got Oink's been doing pretty well. That's up down 3% today though. We've got Soil, Sun Minimal, sitting at 4.5 cents, down 3.6% at the moment. What else there? Teddy Bear is down 4% right now. What else is pretty interesting? Love.io is down 4.5% there. We're waiting still for a lot of stuff from them, from Anders, so we'll see what happens. Time is now, Anders, if you guys are going to be launching stuff, because I think we're right on the precipice of the big rally with the interest rate cuts within less than 2 days away. Expecting at least 25 basis points. Finvesta has had a little bit of a rise, but down 5% again today, $6.16. Had a couple of days of little green candles, but not quite managed to break our way. 9-inch there, down 6%. Your mum. Unity right now, $6.71. Unity is pretty much doing what we thought it would do. No surprises here. Some people are shocked, but that's because they don't know what they haven't done their due diligence, right? If they'd seen Taurus, they would know this is what happens, right? And we've been covering it on this channel. That there has to have a supply adjustment because all the supply coming out in phases, and the next big one is this blue line here. This is when about 14,000 Unity comes out, so this price is going to definitely keep going down dramatically, right? Now the question is, what happens when we get to the third phase, right? So if the third phase, I'm going to go full screen on this actually. The full third phase, remember, we've got 4 phases. This is my setup. 4 phases, and we're just at the going through the beginning of phase 2, which is a dramatic supply increase, and of course that means the price has to come down, right? It's simple as that. So the price is going to come way down from here, guys. Okay, the $6.7 not going to hold up there, so don't try and trade this thing. You could trade it short term, real short term during the day, but you're gonna wish yourself like this sort of thing. But we've got this big supply increase here, and it's just going to continue to ramp. So imagine the supply just increasing there. So if you had a line, have we got a line? Let me see if I got a line here. I don't know about a line, but we're going to have the supply basically during this whole period is just going to increase. So there we are. That's a good arrow, isn't it? Just gets bigger and bigger and bigger as we go. So just take note of that. Then we've got day 89, right? It starts our third zone. And it's going to be interesting to see what the protocol looks like by the time we get to the third phase. We're going to have millions of coins out by then, right? We see a lot of those coins get staked, because a lot of people will just go, oh, well, it's no worth dumping the market, because the market, it's we all losers. So everyone goes in stakes, which is the idea of the protocol, right? It's the stake. And so one stakes there, and then people will start creating, and more capital comes in. That's the idea. So that's what we're expecting to see in phase 3. The other thing that we might see in phase 3 is also obviously liquidity still keeps going, and the buy and burn keeps going. But also we should see any market makers come in, right? That want to get big, large chunks of coins to stake those. So that's some of the things we're expecting to see in phase 3. Phase 4, of course, we have, or at the end of phase 3, I should say, we also have, which is day 110, somewhere in about here, I think, from memory. So that'd be like, early mid-December. We might see, we see the buy and burn get filled up again with the fractal treasury. And then, of course, phase 4 is maturity, right? Maturity means basically we still get more coins added, but the price is far less volatile. we have that staking and creating sort of battling each other out potentially, we see a very mature, potentially high yield staking protocol in play. So kind of cool. The other thing, of course, is this doesn't take into account any big protocol that it gets launched, or third parties as well that supply sync all the tokens. So it's going to be interesting to see where Unity goes. Now, in terms of seeing a bit of a glimpse in the future, well, we just have to go to Taurus, right, and see where Taurus is at. And you can see that it's going to be telling us a little bit of Blue's Clues where Unity will go as well. Although adoption and the timing of creations and things is different. So there'll be important differences there, but it's generally the big macro picture pretty similar is my suggestion there. So we'll see what happens. So that is the Unity. A big shout out to Cryptographics out there for that. Who else? We've got any more comments in the chat? Music Miracles on the old Superman Crypto says, Superman, how's it going? Axion on base? Yeah, Axion is moving to base. Posted a video there on Superman Crypto the other day. And people are stoked to see the Axion DAO moving. Yes, I think that's a very good move for the old Axion protocol there. Absolutely. All right, let's jump over to the next one. We're going to jump away. Shall we jump away? How many more? We got anything else we want to talk about in particular down here? Let's have a look. Teddy Bears down here, as I said, number 66. 9MM's down here at number 68. We talked about Unity, didn't we? Pump Tires is down here at number 75, down 6.6%. Liquid Loans down there as well. Trump token, Pump Tires down there. Peacock's down here, down almost 10% today. And Bria is also, Bria's had a big move down, isn't it? Peacock and Bria both fighting each other for meme supremacy. They're both down. So we're at a quarter of a penny now for Peacock, almost, just above quarter of a penny. That is the chart. So not looking too good right now. Double bottom on there too. But, PulseChain's down, meme coins are down, and Bria is also down, which we covered yesterday, didn't we? That is at 0.0035. So it's had quite a few down days. And let's see if it can hold this range, kind of being a good support area at 3,500 there, 3,500. Of course, this has got Coinwell coming up, and Coinaki, the battle of the memes. So this could have quite a big reversal. And if Rack and Michelle is right about making this number one meme coin, plus having that big dynamic run, what was it? We'll call it the CSM or something like that. Having a big run there. We'll keep a lookout for that coming into October probably. Let's see how that goes. So that is some of the cool ones. What else we got going on the top 100? We got Doge down there, Ink Dollar, or Ink Dollar's a stablecoin, Teddy Bear Takeover, and GoPulse are down here as well. Teddy Bear Takeover, so look at that. Just below 0.2 of a penny, OMG. What happened to Moon? Was it Moondog? Is it Moon? No, not Moondog. It's B Roots. What happened to B Roots? Moon King is on. I'm thinking of Moon King, and that's the weekly candles right here. We're currently just below 0.2 of a penny, so showing quite a bit of weakness. But we've seen all these meme coins are down, right? PulseChain is down. They're a leverage play on PulseChain, and they're all down, right? So it's basically, I think, the general theme what we're seeing there with a lot of these meme coins. All right, we can't wait for Battle of the Memes on Coinaki. Bring it on. So we're up to 58 minutes on the hour, so we're doing pretty good time, which brings us into the latest new launch, which is Beat Miners, Pulse Beat Miners from from Cult DeFi, I should say, and it is a launch. So congratulations to Cult DeFi. So that's Pulse Beat Miners, and it is launched today. How many hours ago? Not too long ago. So Pulse Beat Miners has launched. It is live, and we're going to have two protocols kind of like this, and it's kind of gamified Pulse, isn't it? Gamified Pulse staking. There are tokens that you get when you put your Pulse in. I think they're beats and hearts and beats. Those are your tokens that you get in protocol tokens. And it is launched. So 5 hours ago, Cult DeFi said it is alive. Number 5 is alive? No. Pulse Beat Miner is alive. And of course, the idea is that you can 3.69x your Pulse stack in preparation for the God candle. So these protocols are typically things that might work in a bull market scenario, not in a bear market typically, but in the current time, maybe the timing is perfect. Does seem like it. So if we're right about the timing, then this might do very well indeed on the old Pulse Beat Miner. Just a quick look at the website. I'm not signing into this one in particular on here, but they do have the mining. So you deploy your miner, earn 3.69% daily on your lock PLS. Now they do have a compounding, is kind of a compounding notion in here. Deploying your pulse begins generating hearts. This is a one-time action, commits your capital to the protocol, setting your journey of delayed gratification and yield growth in motion. The deposit fee of 3.69% may be used for marketing purposes or to ensure future health of the protocol. So there we go. A little bit of disclosure there. Earn 3.69% daily. Reinvest your daily yield into your miner to boost your mission share and grow faster. Compounding, reset your timer, rewarding the patient. So there we go. That is some of the background there. They've got a dashboard. You have to connect to that, but I've got some details. Let me got some details here somewhere. Let me pull out. I will do a video on this so people can see it in more detail. But I do have some details around the dashboard, so let's go there. So you can't see it on here, but the dashboard for BeatMiner is currently. I thought I had it locked on, but I don't have it locked on at the moment. Anyway, I'll probably do a separate video on this, but this is definitely up and running right now. Yeah, I'll probably just do a special video. That's probably the best way of talking about it. And that is, yeah, it's launched. It's live, which is pretty neat. Actually, I need the other one there as well. You can get a 2% bonus if you want to get on that too. So I'm not sure where that is though. Let me see if I got it. I think I might have closed it down. Is it Pulse Beat Miner? Beats Miner. I think I've got it down here. Let's see if I can pull that up. All right, 1, 2, 3. You know me. 1, 2, 3. All right. Actually, I've got it on something else that I've got on. All right, let's see. Let me see if I'm going to try and connect to it and see if it works. It looks like it has worked. I've got the dashboard miner. Have we got the dashboard? Connected, it says. All right, so if you do want to participate in this, you can check it out on Pulse Beat Miner. I will post the link to that. Where's my studio gone? I've lost my studio and everything now. There's my studio. So if you want to get in on this, that is it. You get a 2% bonus using the link. So there we go. Pulse Beat Miner, and that is the link. 2% bonus by using the link. So there we go. Bam. That is the link there. Pulse Beat Miner. Join up today. Bam. All right. So kind of cool. Actually, that's not the link. That's not the link at all. That is not the link, guys. That is not the link. I got to get the link, but that's not the link. Share your. Oh, that is the link. Okay. Now, if you share that, and they use your address in their referrer. Yeah. So that is the address. Just use that one there, and using that one there, that will get you put it in your referral list, and that will get you 2% bonus when you use the miner there. Yeah. Okay. That's how it works. Wasn't sure how it worked, but that is how it works there. And that is Pulse Beat Miner there. So let me post that in the chat as well. That is live, guys, from Cult DeFi. And of course, a very popular character in the PulseChain community. And Pulse Beat Miners is out there. So compounding the idea, getting 3.69 your pulse, and launching at this time in the market, probably the perfect time to make that happen. That is the link there or at the moment. All right. I'll probably post that later on. So yeah, we're going to do a separate video, a breakdown of it as well. Where am I on my studio? All right, that's it. All right, so do you have a leaderboard? Yeah, you can actually see the leaderboard, so that's kind of cool. So leaderboard at the moment, let's do a refresh on this. There are currently 18 miners currently. So if you're starting to mine this, you'll be early. And the pulse in there at the moment looks like they've got 67 million pulse so far. It's been alive for about 5 hours so far. The market hearts. So when you get in there, you do get hearts, right? So 16,216. You can start your mining, you'll compound your progress, delay gratification, and withdraw your terms, take profits anytime. What else there? They've got all the breakdowns, all the details there. And you can deploy a miner. All you have to do is hit the deploy miner. And like I say, in the referral there, you'll get 2% if you use that wallet address. What about the leaderboard? Leaderboard here. That's pretty much it. So it's all this cool stuff there. All right. Vault. What's the vault? We've got the market hearts in there. Protocol's 100% okay. Active stakers, we've got that 85%. Protocol reserve takes 15%. The market hearts is 16,216 right now. Protocol activity. I think that's it. There's some of the recent actions that have been on protocol. So we've got a cool little active thing there. And of course, you probably want to get into Telegram as well. So that is Pulse Beat Miners. It's a quick review. Not really a review, but a quick showcase. And if you want to get a 2% bonus, you can use that with that address and to get yourself 2% bonus. Put it in the referral section, apparently. So there we go. Right, that leads us on into what? Leads us on into Gladiator Games. Gladiator Games is pretty amazing. You can actually see the Rome token in the scroll bar down the bottom of the prices. They are the first project to be on here, which is pretty cool. We got a comment there. We got a comment from Valiant. Yeah, I'll give you my view on PUSD in a minute. I can give you a quick brief on that. So that's kind of where we are on Gladiator Games. Now they had a big tournament over the weekend. $500 in prizes, and guess who won it? MVS Crypto won it. The editor-in-chief of the Monster Thread, and he is a very big gamer. So that's when he loves game. I mean, this guy will game. And there were a number of very good players playing, and he won that one. He ended up giving 3 of the other players that didn't win prizes $50 each. So that was really nice from MVS Crypto. So big shout out to him. Very gentlemanly, sir, especially in the Gladiator game, which is pretty brutal. But we got $100 number 2, $50 number 3 spot, and of course, legendary weapons were given out for number 4 and 5. Everyone is chasing down his weapons, right? Because it gives you a lot of advantages there. So pretty cool. That is some of the gameplay that's happening in there right now. So it's that is from Gladiator Games. Now, this thing, people are loving it. It is people are excited. There's so many aspects to this game. You can go on quests. You can get resources. You can build bloodlines. You can get all sorts of weapons. You can buy and sell on markets, things that you've made, and all sorts of stuff. It is huge. You can fight AI. You can fight real people. You can go into tournaments. There are prizes. This is the first really big flourishing game on PulseChain, and it's going to be around for a long time. It is pretty crazy. Now they've started burning the tokens as well. So from tournaments, they start burning with the revenue that's earned. They burn the token off. So the Rome token is becoming more and more valuable, and it's only been around for about 2 weeks. This is the first tournament in week 2, and this game is set for rocketing. As you guys know, I'm a gamer too. I'm not as crazy gamer as MBS, but I do like gaming. Been gaming for decades, not so much as I used to, but certainly gaming a lot. And this is really, really exciting to have a proper game straight out of the gate, and it's going to have rapidly innovative enhancements to it. This dev is constantly just putting out new things, and it's really, really clever. He's very much a professional dev, and gets done protocols that have earned hundreds of millions of dollars. So you're backing a real winner dev here. Pretty exciting, and of course the stuff is amazing. So yeah, Gladiator Games absolutely crushing it. As you can see, some of the cool stuff here. I love the visuals. It really is awesome. And yeah, it was in the Monster Thread this week. So look at that. Gladiator Games fight for arena domination. Looking pretty awesome, right? Pretty awesome. Finally, PulseChain's got a really proud game we can be proud of. Really, really awesome there. Doing some good stuff. Look at that. Woohoo. So nice stuff happening with the old Gladiator Games and Rome token. You should definitely check out the websites at the top, so you can check that out. But Gladiator Games doing amazing. I would give Gladiator Games a follow. We did cover it yesterday, so I'm not going to go too much into it today. But there's the Gladiator Games in the chat there. You can follow them on X. Join Telegram and tell them Superman sent you. So hey, Superman sent me here, and I want to check out the games, ask them some questions. But the community in there is really positive. So you're going into a very positive environment. Despite the fact that it's Gladiator Games where everyone's sort of butchering themselves on the battlefield, but it's all digital, so it's no worries, mate. As they say, Gladiator Games, absolutely amazing stuff. So join up today as well. Make a player. It's so easy. You can up to 10 players on one wallet. And so you can send 9 of them away on quests and get them to get your resources. And apparently I've heard that the resources have been bumped up. So if you're going in now, you're going to get a lot more resources, and you can use those to do lots sorts of things in the game, weapons and everything else. And of course, if you can use one of your fighters, you can upgrade all your fighters and then get into the tournaments. And you can play the free game, so you can just play free, or you can do the live game. Live game will be with Pulse, and the in-game currency is called gold. It's a 1-to-1 ratio. But live there you can earn money, and some people are earning some nice money in there playing live games. So get on there early, build up your character or characters, and get going. That's all I can say. Now the Rome token itself has been going very well. It's super early, and the chart's looking really strong. You've got some real diamond hands. Look at that, some diamond hands in here. So there is a very diamond hand community, and so the opportunity to pick up Rome right now is pretty hard. So I'll post a link to that in the chat as well. I might leave it on the under the live show after the show there, and check that out. So pretty awesome. That is Rome token, early days, and got some big backers, guys. Crypto Paradise is talking about this thing. Obviously, I've been talking about it. MVS been talking about it. Lots of people out there talking about this game, and it's getting out there more and more and more. And you guys are nice and early OGs, so pretty awesome. In fact, they had 68% growth in the holders in the last 9 days. So 68% growth in number of holders of Rome token, and it's super duper early. Pump Tires, of course, originally born, but the game is looking pretty badass. So looking forward to it. All right, that is Gladiator Games. So we're going to finish off there. Let me jump back into the chat here. We're going to talk about a question that was asked of me, which was from Valiant. Any PUSD ALGO news? Now, the last update I did for PUSD ALGO was on X, and so let's go pick that up because it had all the greatest stuff in there that you ask. That is the last really info there that I had. So let me see if I can pull that up and check that out. So let me see. Is this the latest one I did? Just wondering whether that's the latest one. No, I don't think this is the latest one I had. Let's see. What else do we have on this? Yeah, it had good update. No, it's not that one. Yeah, I wish whenever you do searches on X, they don't give you the actual details. It's much easier to read off the post. That's why I was going to read it. Otherwise, I have to talk about it and off the back of my head, the top of my head here. Well, essentially it's this. So we at the moment we are waiting for the Oracle, right? So let me go back. So January this year, around about the 16th of January, Jacob said that that they essentially were waiting for the Signum Oracle. Now, the Signum Oracle is going to be launching after the Tetra launches. Tetra is a decentralized, downloadable software that allows you to interact with smart contracts. So it really makes it mean you don't have to be a developer anymore. You can just use some nodes and things like that. You can set them up pretty, interact with smart contracts. Pretty cool. But that's taken a lot longer than people expected. But apparently it's always getting close, and they are actually down based on Stu's last update, Stu the developer, to just fine-tuning all the UIs because it's a lot more complicated with the UIs because of the way all the interactions work, and so that it changes depending on what you're doing. So they have to get that all right to make it look correct all the time. So that's taken longer than expected, but it's getting there slowly and surely. But it's frustrating a lot of people, obviously, because it's taken a long time. So that's also means that Signum Oracle is not really launching because it uses some of the interface or some of the UIs there or something like that, so APIs or something like that into Tetra, and so it uses some of the similar technology, let's say. And so that's been delayed. So that apparently was going to launch within a couple of days. But if it'd probably be a week. Let's say a week. Let's give it a bit more time. And so that was what Jacob's going to use for his Oracle, right? Need the Oracle because the Fetch Oracle is a fork of a Teller, and it's just not adequate for purposes that is needed for PUSD ALGO. So that's frustrating from all the supporters of PUSD ALGO. Obviously, like Cult DeFi, we think of PUSD ALGO as being the flagship of PulseChain, and could be the first true stable algorithmic stablecoin in the world, not just PulseChain, but in the world. And so it's very, very exciting. Now, why did I say that? Well, I did a review of stablecoins. I think early last year. I went right back, and I was looking around every stablecoins trying to understand, did we have a true algorithmic stablecoin? And what I could find, I could not see one, right? Could not find one. And I did a big history of all the stablecoin development and progress. It was pretty, it took a bit of time to do the research, and but it was pretty good and satisfying after doing it. But it's this could be the holy grail, and of course, the third part of the problem is scalability in stablecoins that you don't get because we don't have a true algorithmic stablecoin, right? So this could be the holy grail. So it could be big, contribution not to PulseChain, but to crypto generally, right? A real world leader, and this is what Jacob likes to do. He likes to do this sort of things, and so that's kind of where we are. So at the beginning of January, he said, "Oh, well, once we get Signum Oracle, I'll give an update." So that was kind of the play. Now, since that time, He has hired a developer team, especially for PUSD ALGO. And of course, we had PUSD ALGO well over a year ago, a year and a half ago, I think it was approximately. Maybe even getting, just over a year and a half, probably maybe even getting close to 2 years, somewhere in that ballpark. And that was like 1.0. And of course, you can find all those videos on YouTube here. But of course, he was he got a new team hired, and they were working on basically PUSD ALGO 2.0, basically, just enhancing it, better UI, all that sort of stuff, just, really bringing it to modern contemporariness. But then we got some updates, little teaser news that from in Telegram from Cult DeFi, who dropped us a little bit of alpha there, which was really surprising, right? So people ask, "Oh, where did you get the information from?" Well, it's public. It's not something that I just made up, because I don't like to do that, get in trouble making stuff up, right? But it is Cult DeFi. Basically, gave us a little bit of alpha, right? So that's basically how that's come into being. And basically, he indicated that that there could be some potential changes to PUSD ALGO along the lines that it would be more aligned with the Genius Act and, of course, the stablecoin boom. And that could mean a couple of things. So we don't know exactly what that means, but it could mean, is it going to mean using US treasuries, US repos, as they call it, is some of these things that collateralize stablecoins for USDC, USD Tether on Ethereum? Could that mean that, which would be perfect, because that matches all the big mega themes line up, and that'd be fantastic, because previously PUSD ALGO was going to be backed on USDL, right? So that's kind of the play. So at the moment, we know that Signum is delayed. So the oracle that we need for PUSD ALGO, we know that PUSD ALGO has a team dedicated to it. That happened this year. Right, so that's bullish. So these are, that part's bullish. The other one's, a bit disappointing, but the other one's bullish. We know that Tetra is getting closer, but that, it still doesn't give us a firm date. Is it before the end of the year launch? So we're still not confident about that yet. We'll keep a tab on that. And so we've got the developer team building the PUSD ALGO itself. Now, apparently, based on Cult DeFi's public knowledge there, that we could see some potential alignment with the Genius Act. And this is the other part of the alpha drop that he gave in the Telegram. This is in the Kryptonite Show Telegram. And that was that there's going to be some tech changes towards supporting that outcome, which is pretty huge. Now, obviously, Jacob's in Europe. And so, what does this exactly mean regarding alignment to the Genius Act? I mean, I think it's fantastic if it is. But what does it actually mean? We don't know. So I've tried to get some probes around there. Still no insight to that. So we've got some teasers, but nothing material out than that. But looks like there will be some changes in 2.0 compared to the 1.0 presented. Now, as you guys know, the heart of PUSD ALGO is the stability miners. These are little bots that operate to keep the peg stable. And we did see in the testnet over a year and a half ago how stable it was, pretty incredible. And that was live on PulseChain as a test. It ran for about 40 days, and it was making some pretty damn good money at the same time. So not only does it keep the peg stable, but it actually turns over a lot of money with the volume as well, which is pretty impressive. And of course, part of the stability miner is that people can contribute to the stability miner provided liquidity, and they help stability miners keep the peg and also earn a really nice little return for that. Not too big, not like what we saw with Terra Luna, but actually a decent little return, and that's pretty good for people that want more conservative plays. So that could be pretty huge as well. So that's kind of where we are right now. Now, there is something else going on, and I can't really talk about it because I heard it somewhere, and I can't really. It's not really public knowledge. So there is something else going on to support the project, and I wish I could talk about it, but it was not something that I can publicly say. But this is to say that if that turns out to be the case, then we may get some news by the end of the year around PUSD ALGO technically being able to launch, let's say. You can read into that what you will. So the other side of it, of course, is the collateral. You need enough collateral to run all the LP pools, right? So we know that there's going to be, the reward token. There's going to be, PUSD itself, the stable coin Pulse USD, and of course, ALGO, of course, is the main coin, algorithmic coin there. and you need ALGO. You have to buy ALGO to mint PUSD ALGO stablecoins, right? That's another play there. So that means that ALGO could be really in big demand. So that's some of the play there. And of course, there's a reward token as well in the original design. So assuming that original design is the play, the PUSD ALGO is going to be backed by a double backed stablecoin too, because it's going to be backed onto USDL. So assuming that is still the case, that of course USDL is a liquidity fork from liquid loans based on PLS as collateral. So assuming all those things are still in play. However, like I say, that new news that we got dropped from Cult DeFi around aligning to the Genius Act and having some new technology as well sort of mixes that up a little bit. So we don't know quite where that's going to land. As soon as I find out, we will let you know. But in terms of being able to make the actual protocol operate, there is something happening in the background. That's all I'm going to say. There's something happening. So it's going to keep going. Now, finally, I guess the final part of this is that, yeah, if it does have any, Genius Act kind of stablecoin, that could be a mega theme for PulseChain with the old stablecoin mega theme that's happening on Ethereum, right? That's why the strategic ETH reserves are all coming into Ethereum because of the trillions of dollars of stablecoin boom that's expected in crypto, and pretty much 95% of that's on Ethereum. And of course, why not on PulseChain, right? PulseChain, a full system state fork of Ethereum. So we got a lot of potential, fundamentals there. So that's kind of the play. Finally, I was going to say the price of ETH is very important. A lot of the sacrifice proceeds in the PUSD algo are in Ethereum. And I did do a check of that the other day. It's well, and I think there's about 25,000 on PulseChain and around about 300,000 on Ethereum when I check. So that's about 325,000 US dollars. Now, if Ethereum goes on the run that we're expecting, we were expecting it to potentially go from, where it is now, what's it, 4,600 to say 15,000 by the end of the year. That would give a significant boost to that, right? So let's just say that it triples. That means that 325K goes to almost $1 million US dollars, and that's exactly some of the targets that we've heard, Jacob talk about in the past. Now, I myself think that at the lowest we could potentially launch with $500,000 because, as you guys know, you can do full range V3 pools, which we know that PUSD algo is going to have a V3 DEX. So PUSD algo is not just a stable coin; it's an ecosystem. A DeFi ecosystem, and potentially it could also be integrated into on-chain bet in some ways, and also Mafia, which is coming up closer and closer to launch as well. And both of those launches are expected probably, I would say, if not at the end of September, then October. It could get pretty exciting in the end of the year. And maybe Jacob, if he could launch all of his projects, by January, let's say, that's pretty much with the bull market and a pretty good timing. Now, hopefully, we get at least 2 of those 3 before the end of the year, and then PUSD algo maybe December, January. Let's see what happens there. But that would be pretty cool. And I know that a lot of people that have believed in him would be pretty happy about that finally all 3 landing with a big giant ecosystem all interconnected. Think of PUSD algo a bit like a bank, sort of the financial infrastructure with the V3 DEX and a lot of other things that could potentially have multi-chain, of course. This is not just PulseChain, but there'll be multi-chain offering. It could be pretty exciting. So some of the thoughts there around that. So hopefully I've sort of answered as much as I know, except for the thing I can't say. It's proceeding. It's all proceeding pretty much. All right, kind of cool. So more patience required. That's pretty much it. More patience. What else there? Q-Baller in the house there. Big shout out. Welcome, Q-Baller. We're about to end the show though. It's an hour and 24 minutes. I'm 10 minutes beyond time. Valiant says, many thanks for the update, Superman. Very interesting. Does Genius Act require blacklist functions for stables? I don't know, actually. I haven't thought about that question. Presumably not. Presumably it should be the opposite of that. Genius Act should have full disclosure. And I think that's why if you're a protocol, you got $50 billion more, so it's like USDC, USD Circle, USD Circle, you'll have to actually, which are US ones, right? Not DAI, right? Not DAI. You have to actually register with the, I guess the SEC or something like that. You actually have to register. I think it's over $50 billion. So that won't apply to, of course, the PUSD algo. So, yeah. All right. Now, how successful Should I tell you how I've done some modeling about how successful I think PUSD ALGO could be on giving different scenarios. I mean, it's I haven't made it public, but I've done the numbers. I don't really want to talk about them, but let's just say that a simple way of maybe modeling just some simple outcomes. There's many methods of doing it, but some of the ones that are on the low end are just some of the liquidity fork valuations. So if you think about some of those, then I think at the minimum that's probably where some of them might fit. And I think probably Ink Printer or Power Cities protocols are probably good benchmarks for valuations at the minimum of where PUSD ALGO might hit the ground. But of course, because it can scale, it could do many more times of value than that, particularly when it's multi-chain and part of a bigger ecosystem. So there's a little bit of a mind bender, as it say, about that. It's the first time I've actually made the comment in the chat, so there we go. Whisper it to me. I won't tell anyone, says Blair. Fallon's laughing as well. Yeah. All right. So that is kind of cool. We'll see. Like I say, very important for Jacob to launch. I think if he can launch 2 out of 3, October, November, something like that for Mafia and for on-chain bet, then he will get a lot of kudos for that, and people will forgive all the time that it's taken to get there. He's a super smart dev, but timing has always been an issue. And he's got a great vision, and we're looking forward to it. And then maybe a PUSD ALGO by December, maybe January at the latest. We'll see. December would be a pretty good time, and of course that would fit well with the bull market, and of course where the ETH prices could be pretty cool, and the FOMO would be awesome too. Now he has said in the Telegram, this is a final comment, that if it is successful, obviously there's risk to it, but if it is successful, then everyone would be pretty wealthy. That's what he did say about sacrifice people there. So you're backing his abilities, and he is arguably one of the world's best peer-to-peer developers, if not the best. In fact, I'm not aware of actually anyone better with the amount of complex. I think Mafia Games got like dozens of smart contracts, like dozens of them. Pretty clever setup, right? Which gives you a little more attack vectors. So you got to be really good to make sure you don't get any attacks done, right? All right, and he's I think he's bought an auditors too these days as well. So that is pretty cool. Hope you guys enjoyed the show. We've got some smiley faces from Valiant. If you want to join the strategy club, that's the link in the video description there. And I guess we might as well just review some of the stuff that we've done. If you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe and smash the follow button on X. What do we talk about? Solid Trader. That is the link there in the chat, and you can also find that in the video description on on X. Pulse Beat Miner is alive. You can use that to add into the referral code and get yourself a 2% bonus. Congratulations. All the best on that. I will be doing more content on that. And that is the Beat Miner website that you need to go to put your pulse in and start earning some mad gains with an idea of getting 3.69x your pulse bags during this little bull market rally. And that is Gladiator Games. You can go join up to Gladiator Games. Get a player. I think you can get a player on that website. Join up today and get into Telegram. So join up, get a player, join up, share it around to your friends, and post the excitement on X. That would be pretty cool. And that is the Rome token. Oh, there is the Rome token there at the moment. So if you want to go buy some Rome, you're early. And like I say, 68% increase in the number of holders just inside 2 weeks, guys. This thing is ready to rock, and some big influencers supporting it as well. So game on for that. Big shout out to the developer, doing a great job. Valiant says devs often lose track of time while cooking in the kitchen. Apparently that is true, Valiant. That is true, and that is a magical stat. All right. I think that's it from me. Like I said, I probably will do maybe a video on Beat Miner, and we'll probably do something on that coming up. It is just launched, so congratulations to Cold DeFi, and I'll catch you guys tomorrow. Let's jump over here to this view quickly because I want to play a little video. That video, of course, is we might get one of these guys. We've got interest rate cuts within the next 2 days, so a day and a half maybe, and we may very well. I wouldn't be surprised. Richard Hart will be watching them very closely. You never know. We may get one of these, right? We may get one of these.
You could get a God candle at any moment. You could get a giant green candle at any moment because it's easier to get them because it takes less economic energy because there's less of it for sale.
All right. I hope you enjoyed it, folks. And of course, if you want to get into PUSD ALGO, links in the video description as well. Get a 90% bonus on that. And game on. All right. Take care. Catch you on the next show. Bye for now.